So,
Great.
yeah.
Welcome to Life's Undertaking. I'm your host, Brad Jones, and with me from across the pond is my good friend, producer, and co-host, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
What pond is this, Brad? Where are you in the world, and who is this A-list celebrity to your right?
Well, I am so thrilled to have Heather Rankin with me today on our podcast, Life's Undertaking, and we're on the other side of the Atlantic. We're in Austria right now.
You're in Austria, and you're with Heather Rankin. This sounds like a fever dream.
Or a nightmare.
Well, a nightmare for Heather, but it's a dream for me.
No, a nightmare for you. I meant.
Yeah. No, we're on a river cruise in the Danube, and I was fortunate that when we signed up for this, our good friends Dale and Tyler had set this cruise up, and Dale is a longtime friend of Heather. And Heather is performing on our trip. She's been amazing entertainment a few times that I've actually had the opportunity to see her.
Thank you, Brad.
I've even got to walk with her in Prague for about half an hour, and
I tripped him a few times.
yeah, I think it took about 4 minutes for me to offend her.
No, it didn't. It didn't offend. It takes a lot to offend me. Trust me.
But yeah, no, we're having a fantastic time over here.
Yeah, we are. Oh my God. I've never been to this part of the world, and I cannot believe the incredible. It's just stunning. The whole ride down the Danube today was just. I mean, there wasn't an ugly part. Like, it was just gorgeous.
It was almost like looking in the mirror every morning. Beautiful.
For you, yeah.
For Heather, maybe.
Honestly, it's an absolute thrill. And I'm so grateful to Tyler and Dale for inviting me along. I've probably never would have done this in my lifetime. And so I'm so grateful to be here.
And we'll plug what the next cruise will be coming in a year and a half, but we'll do that towards the end. So this will make our listeners actually listen to the whole episode.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, before I pressed record, Heather was about to say something lovely about you, Brad, and I made her stop so we could record it, so you could make it your ringtone. So now is the time.
Well, what I was saying is I have a great deal of appreciation and respect for what you do, you and Judy, for a living. Joe, oh, Jesus. Can we start that again?
That's okay.
I don't care. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I've met a lot of people in 3 days.
I wasn't going to correct her.
Oh, no. I didn't drink half my wine at that dinner. Just trying to keep up. Holy smokes. No, okay, so before we go any further, I want to say how much I respect what you and your wife Jody do for a living. From a very young age, I have been familiar with the process of burying people, starting with my father at age 13 and my mother at age 29, and then my brother 33, and then a sister, and then another sister. So I know how important it is to have people who are sensitive, who are respectful, and who care. Yeah, I just thought that was worth pointing out.
Oh, that's very nice, very gracious.
Will you bury me?
Absolutely.
Will you bury me?
I wouldn't turn it down. Absolutely not. And this is what we talk about on Life's Undertaking, about community and the strength of community. And listening to you talk to Dale today, we had a great opportunity today on our trip. We were in this abbey, and Heather and was
Jimmy.
performing. Yeah, your brother Jimmy was performing, and there was some beautiful music. But we also had an opportunity where Dale sat and talked to Heather and asked her some questions. I know some of it was already you guys knew what you were going to talk about, which was to a degree. Roughly.
But I didn't give it too much thought, so I'd be spontaneous.
See, that's how I do my podcast as well. It's just all spontaneous, like with the rattling of the glasses in the background. But it was fascinating because you talked about community so much, right? And there's a community in the music groups. There's a community in the family. There's a community in Cape Breton. There's a community in the East Coast. But
Absolutely.
there's a community across Canada, which is pretty incredible. And for me, like, I still, you know, and I think Mike and I talked about this when I told him that you agreed to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
I remember watching you on the Rita McNeil special at Christmas
Okay.
when I was a young adult with my parents. Like, they used to always watch the East Coast stuff, and I remember watching, Anne Murray specials and Rita McNeil specials. And when you guys came on, and like, I listened to the Rankin family, and I always loved folk music. I was a Tanglefoot fan from Ontario, but when you guys brought it into the mainstream, it was incredible for me.
Well, we were very, very lucky. We were weaned on the music. It was just part of the community, I think, because until the 50s, there was no causeway to the island and we remained somewhat isolated. And so our entertainment, I mean, when I was growing up, there were two channels. We weren't allowed to watch TV much. Um, and it was just something that was how people entertained themselves. They played music with each other or they just sang a cappella in the home. And that carried on over the generations into the church, where well, at least the girls were very active in the choir and lead singing, and every funeral and wedding that happened in that community at that time, we were singing at it. So that's why we have tremendous respect and gratitude to our community, because they encouraged us. It was the nuns um, uh, who lived in the convent above the church, who were also teachers, who recognized that we could hold a note and pushed us and encouraged us. And we owe a lot to those people.
It's awesome because you think about, growing up, and all of us, no matter where you grew up. I grew up in Hamilton. Jody was in Mississauga. Tyler was out like Cornwall way, and Dale over here, you can't see him, but he was another one from Cape Breton as well, the islands. And
Yeah, baby.
but like, we all had our communities, right? We had our neighborhoods, we had our friend groups, we had all these things. And for me, it was going to church, and we had our church group.
Yep.
And the impression that all these people had on your lives, right? It wasn't just your mom and
Nope.
dad. It wasn't just your grandparents. It was the whole community.
Yep.
It's incredible how it focuses you to where you need to go.
Well, all those small, encouraging opportunities manifested into something much greater. And as children, yeah, we bopped around the little communities around us and sang a couple songs and step danced, and John Morris played the fiddle. But my oldest members of my family, they entertain people at wedding receptions and what we would call pig and whistles, which were licensed dances, and just any like Christmas Kayleys. They provided the music, and eventually I became part of that. And that's where we learned to be eclectic, to provide all kinds of different music. To sure, we sang ballads, but for the most part it was upbeat stuff that you could dance to. It was country and western, it was old time rock and roll, it was Celtic polkas, or I guess they wouldn't be Celtic, but they polkas, Celtic reels and stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's the community who really honed our skills.
And I don't know if there's a lot of people that even know this, but Heather is still very active in the Cape Breton community. Her and is it two of your sisters own a business there?
That's right.
In
2005, Cookie and Raylene and our eldest sister Genevieve, who was in the very beginning, she was a part of the band, but she went on to study nursing, and she moved and got married and moved away. But the four of us, bought an old general store that had been converted to a pub, and that was 2004. We bought it. 2005 was our first season. So you can go there between end of May, 1st of June to mid-October, and we serve a variety of foods, liquor, but it's really a place to gather and hear live music. We feature live music 7 days a week, and it's at different times, but at some point every day, you're going to hear something that's local.
But you also like there's more to that story,
Okay.
right? Because you give back through that pub to the community, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people think you're uber wealthy when you're a musician.
I think if you own a funeral home, you're uber wealthy too.
Right? Yeah. Nobody sees what goes into it, comes behind the scenes. But the four of us invested in it, and we have never taken a dime.
Yeah.
We continue. We've left our investments in the pub, and we continue to reinvest it into the pub so that it supports people in the community. They have jobs. There's a place for people to go to eat. There's a place for people to go have a drink, and a place to go hear live music.
Yeah.
And it's something very special and magical, that place. I don't know if it's the old building, and it's all wood, but there's I can't put my finger on it, but there's something there. There's something special there.
Well, I was talking to Dale yesterday, and I was mentioning that the first day that you did a little bit of performance with everyone.
Yeah.
I said, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way.
That's okay.
But you looked, as soon as you started singing,
yeah,
you looked
stoned.
10 years younger. 10, 20 years younger. It's like you transformed to me,
really,
like to a younger person. And it's
I
like,
told you how much I like you, Brad.
you did.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like, I sat there watching it, and then I said, okay, maybe it was just me. And then I watched you today.
Uh-huh.
And it was the same thing. Soon as you started singing, and I sent Mike a small video to, prep him about what we're going to be seeing or talking to you today. And I said, and he said you had like a voice of an angel, but
Aw.
you just
So far from an
transformed. You transformed to me in just to like a younger you. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just as soon as you start singing, and it's like you're completely relaxed. And don't get me wrong, you don't look old. You look younger than I do. But for me, it was like it was beautiful.
Thank you. That's so kind, and I appreciate that. There's a part of me that has never really grown up. I think maybe it comes from being the 11th of 12 children. And when I go back with my family, we all meet again every summer. So everybody comes back to Maui from all over the world: Singapore, California, Sudbury, Calgary, Tennessee.
Yeah.
We kind of fall into the same roles, like the dynamic of the hierarchy of the family kind of falls into place. I don't know. I still think of myself being a kid. I don't know. I just feel young at heart, and I think it's maybe the voice that I've been given that makes me sound young. But I don't know. Maybe it's the music. I don't know.
Well, there's got to be something powerful about singing songs that not only have you like helped write, but your family has written. Watching you and your brother today perform together, and you're helping, singing along to some of the songs he's written.
Yeah,
it's got to be pretty powerful, right?
I gotta say, it's been such a joy singing with him. It's been a while, probably 25 years. And I have such great respect for what he does and what he's accomplished on his own. And I think it's just, at the time it was difficult when the band stopped touring together. Raylene had just had a baby. She tried to take the baby on the road. It was very challenging. There were 12 people on the bus, and that's how we traveled. John Morris had 2 young children and hadn't seen them really for 10 years, And I had studied acting, and I wanted to hone that skill.
Yeah.
So we all had other directions that we wanted to explore. And I think the plan was to do that and then maybe come back and reunite. But it wasn't in the plans.
Mm-hmm.
We did our last show in October of 99, and John Morris died in January 16th of 2000. And it's really hard to explain.
Yeah.
Life can throw curveballs, and it continues to do so. And that's what you learn. You learn that we learned it from a young age. Just don't rest on, don't be at peace with what you have, because you don't know what's coming tomorrow. And then it wasn't long after that, that Rainey, well, it was not he died in 2000. And then we lost our sister Geraldine, and then we lost Raylene. And after we stopped touring as a family, I continued to work with Cookie and Raylene. But once Raylene was gone, I was like, oh, okay, that's done. I'm not a solo artist. I had no intention of being a solo artist ever. And it just kind of, I don't know. It's kind of just like that kind of loss builds character, and you find strength that you never thought you had. And I continue to do that every day. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I really never expected to work as a solo artist. And I did. And I made a record, and I wrote with someone else who was from a completely different music world. And we created a record that was such a departure from what I did with the Rankins.
Yeah.
So it's such a joy to come back to where I started. And there's a blend you cannot dispute. There's a special blend when you sing with your family. And it's been very joyous singing with Jimmy again.
It's got to be amazing. I'm fortunate that one of my sons has joined the funeral industry, and he's working with us now. And I'm sure it's more of a joy for me than it is for him most days, because I think for me, I'm like, I get to spend this time with him. I get to help shape him and make him into the funeral director I think he needs to be, but also be able to step back and let him do his own stuff as well.
And he is learning about you, learning what you have been doing his entire life, right?
Yep.
And that will garner a whole new respect for you. And it's life comes full circle.
It does. And it's kind of neat because one of my daughters is entering the industry next.
Good.
So
Because we need good people.
yeah, so there'll be two of our 6 kids that start working in the industry, which will be kind of fun to have.
Yeah.
Certainly not 12. I'm sure if Jody had it her way, we might have had 12, but
Well, you did well. 2 is 2.
6.
Oh,
We had
6.
6.
I'm talking about that's a lot. That's a big family for today. Like back in the 60s and 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s, family, it was very common for there to be large families. But in this day and age, 6 children is a big family. You've definitely done your part.
Yeah, we've tried. We've definitely tried.
Yeah.
So, I know we've talked about a little bit loss.
Yeah.
Has that changed how you write songs? And
I am so sad at heart. I think that's why I'm very sarcastic and somewhat funny at times.
that's why we get along. We're both sarcastic.
That's our survival mechanism, right? And Jimmy gives me a hard time because I am Debbie Downer sometimes, but it definitely makes you sad. It makes you a sad person, but it also makes you recognize how short life is and how you have to take advantage of every opportunity.
Yeah.
And I've especially learned that in the last 10 years. I try to not say no to anything. Or I try not to say no to anything. Because you just don't know where that's going to lead you. At some point you have to rein her in, but
well, that's how we got her on Life's Undertaking, because she wouldn't say no.
Sure, yeah. That's right. No, that's not right. Wait, I just realized what you said. I'm like, yeah. No. I'm delighted to be part. The fact that you're interested in who I am and what I do and where I've come from it means a lot to me. I mean, why wouldn't it? Why? I mean,
Well,
it's very, very lovely, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
I was saying to Jody, because she asked me, what are you going to talk about? And I said, well, I'm sure it's going to be an unusual interview for Heather, because it's not that I'm not interested in the music and things like that, but I'm more interested in you as a person, your community,
Yep.
Your life,
Yeah.
your family, all these sort of things.
Yeah.
Music's a big part of it, but it's not everything in life, right?
No, no, it isn't. It isn't.
It's the family
at the
connection.
bottom, at the end of the day, it's family.
Yeah.
It really is. Family's the most important thing, and isn't always for some people. Sometimes they find their family with friends,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
for us, it's definitely family.
And
I think because we've experienced so much sadness and so much tragedy, and really came from nothing. I mean, my mother started working when I was 4, and she worked at home for mentally challenged adults. Is that the proper thing to say now?
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, forgive me if that's not the up-to-date expression, but mentally challenged adults, and she used to bring them home for lunch, and we were their friends, and we used to go over there and sing for them at Christmas, and my father was a mechanic, and for a lot of years he just drove a truck with pulp on it, and they struggled. They struggled to make ends meet, and they worked really hard. They worked really hard. And at some point, when we became a band and released our, I think maybe second record, we were able to say to Mom, you can leave that job now after 25 years, work for us, run our fan club. And she was the most delightful, most appreciative fan club leader. She, people are still bringing letters that she wrote to them. Like they write with questions, 2 and 3 page letters. She just loved it. She was just so grateful to be part of it. And she really was the driving force behind what we do and what we were able to accomplish.
It sounds like your parents were like the best type of parents, right? Like, I think most of us grew up and our parents were hardworking. We didn't all come from a lot, but you hear so many stories, especially in celebrities or musicians, where the parents were like domineering and pushing them into this. Like you hear about the Jackson 5 and things like that. So it's kind of refreshing to hear that it was none of that. It was love and support.
We all had the opportunity to be part of it, but the members who did become the 5 that you would know were the ones who were most enthusiastic about it. Yeah. Everyone had the chance to be part of it, but they chose not to be.
Yeah.
Either because they were more introverted, or they had other goals, or they pursued other careers.
Yeah.
And I'm just grateful. I was the last one to join the big band. And Rainey had a lot to do with that. She really pushed to have me involved. And as a result, we had this very close familial 3-part harmony in so much of the music that is a blend that you can't create. It's very difficult to create with other people. Although Dale fits in pretty well. Yeah. But yeah. What was the question?
There was no question. I was just making a comment about family and community and things like that.
Yeah. Family.
Yeah.
Yes. Our parents, right. Sometimes the parents are domineering and they make their children angry, and I always wanted to be a part of it. And I couldn't wait till I could be a part of it.
Well, even like just seeing you and Jimmy on the stage today, and it just, you're doing it because you love it.
Yeah.
Right? You're not doing it because you're performing on to a small intimate group.
Yeah.
And
well, let me tell you, I never got rich from playing music. I had other investments that I did with my husband. And together we were able to put ourselves in a good financial position. But music is not unless you're of the very, very high.
The 0.1%.
Exactly. I suppose if we had continued and continue to conquer different territories. Like we did go to the States quite a bit.
Yeah.
But that's a big country. It requires a lot of investment. And we did have quite a following in the UK, Australia, New Zealand. Yeah, we do it because we love it. Really. I mean, I'm 58. I could retire, but I want to feel alive. I want to be connecting with people. I want to feel alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And watching the audience today, and you can see it. You can see the connection. And like I'm watching around, and like I love watching people, and I'm just watching the performance, and then I'd glance around and I'd see people, and they're nodding their heads, and their feet are going. You can see the odd person when there was a couple different songs, they have like a tear in their eye, and
I
it's
saw a
like,
few people sleeping. So.
well, there was a couple.
It was awfully hot.
It was pretty warm in there.
We had a bit of wine before.
They had a lot of wine before that. There was a wine tasting this morning. There was a wine just before we went in. So there was a lot of wine happening. But no, it was it's phenomenal because I can see the connection. And I think that's what we all want in our lives, right? Is connections with people. And people talk about how AI is going to take over and all these things. But I think truly when it comes down to it, the majority of us want to have that human connection, right? I want to be able to look at someone in their eyes. I want to have that conversation. I want to have that connection with them.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't beat it.
No.
I'm not really outgoing socially, but in this environment on a cruise, I just come alive when connecting and meeting new people, and they want to know more about who you are and where you've come from and what your story is. And this has been the most amazing experience cruising on the Ama Sophia on the Danube River. And I cannot wait. I am so excited for the next one on the Rhine.
In December
2027. Yeah. And I'm going this time. I'm going to bring my friends Jen Shepard and Stephen Muse. They're a musical couple from New Waterford, Cape Breton. I've done a number of shows with them. I've toured with them for Christmas. That's the joy about being a solo artist. You get to collaborate with all kinds of different people, and they are two amazing. She has an incredible voice. He just rips it off the piano. He's amazing. He can arrange harmonies. So in conjunction with them and my good friend Dale Miller, we're going to do some beautiful music. We're going to put together some beautiful arrangements. Yeah, so I highly recommend it. I like to be home before Christmas, but it's a lovely diversion to try something new, especially if you're older. By all means, it's a week, and you will not regret it. It's going to be fun.
I think it'll be fascinating. I
agree.
I already had Jody looking at me when she saw the brochure today, so we'll definitely be seeing if that's a possibility for us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we'll see. There's no commitment, but we'll see.
No, well, talk about it.
Well, and I'm assuming that your husband might be able to come on that one as well, because it will be in the off season.
Definitely coming. Yeah.
So anyone that doesn't know, Heather's husband is a fisherman.
He is a commercial fisherman. He grew up fishing.
Commercial fisherman, just like the guy there in the lake. I'm just teasing.
You want to wrestle? He grew up fishing lobster and snow crab with his dad, and now his dad has passed. So he fishes with his brother, and his brother fishes with his dad's boat, and James has his own boat, and they each have their own little crew, and they fish snow crab and lobster. And he's the best thing that ever happened to me. He's the light of my life. I thank God every day for him. He's totally opposite of me. I'm like the high-strung.
So he's tall?
Well, yeah, that too. Tightly wound. But he is just even, calm, and the most beautiful person. Like, I call him the human whisperer.
Well, I'm looking forward to meeting him and
You'll love him.
Yeah.
I know you will. Yeah.
and Mike was telling me the other day when I told him that you were going to be a guest that he's heard, I think it's your niece, and she's a musical band, and
Yep.
he even knew the name of the band. Mike, what was the name again?
Always. Yeah.
Always.
And
Yeah.
the big song, Marry Me Archie, is a huge
Marry Me,
indie
Archie.
rock hit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Molly is the daughter of John Morris. So she was 13 or 12 when her dad died.
Okay.
My brother, John Morris. He was driving his son and two of his friends to a hockey game in Shattycamp, which is about an hour north of where they lived in Hillsdale. And they came across a little mound of salt that was left on the road. And they either went over it like a ramp or he swerved around and they went over a cliff and ended up in the ocean. Just a miracle that those boys survived. His son climbed up the bank of the cliff that normally you wouldn't be able to do that. It was January. And unfortunately, John Morris didn't survive. But if there is a silver lining, it's that his son survived and his friends. And Molly, the first time I knew that she sang and played guitar and was writing her own songs, I think she was about 16. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And now she's got this incredible indie band that's successful. Always. They have played all of the biggest festivals in the world. Like, they travel all over the world. They've done way better than the Rankin family ever did. Yeah. And she writes the material. And she's the front man.
It must be beautiful to see that.
It's so, so beautiful. And she's beautiful. And it's just so amazing to see when somebody can come from such tragedy
Mhm.
and go on to succeed in
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Well, I think that, part of it is the support and love of family and friends and the community that's around them. So
And just, I think with loss, you just build character and strength.
we certainly do.
Yeah. People think they can't survive or they won't manage, but you find it. Somehow you find it. By the grace of God.
By the grace of God.
Yeah.
Well, Heather, I'd like to thank you for sitting with me tonight. And
It was my absolute pleasure. I was going to say pressure. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. I'm honored and flattered that you wanted to speak with me. It was delightful.
Again, thanks, Heather, and I look forward to seeing you on the next river cruise.
Yeah, well, we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you then.
We're doing a concert tomorrow, right?
That's right, we are.
Oh,
Right, we're not singing. Heather's singing.